There's only one way I don't complete it if I die during the journey.
You did.
Because dying is the best
Excuse?
I mean, there is no other acceptable excuse, you know? So my superpower is the overthinking. Some people say it's a bad thing, but for me, it's very useful for now. This is where I think the discipline comes into the picture when you're changing the motivation, because the motivation is lasting like 2 to 3 months, and then comes your willpower, and from your willpower, you can estimate how much your endurance is, because the whole year as a package was a good test to my willpower also. Then I see, okay, I could do this, and I was committing myself. So in the future, I also gonna respect the hard work I put in.
Sawadee krap.
Sawadee krap.
Hey man, hey Istvan.
Buonasera.
Come stai? How are you?
I'm feeling fine. I think I'm the only one guy who will come to Thailand and spend 1 year and learn more Italian than Thai.
Than Thai.
So this is something unique, you can say.
Yeah, it's a good startup. So let me make a small introduction. This is Istvan, and he's been with us at 7 Muay Thai Gym here in Thailand for 1 full year. Is that right?
This is correct.
Yeah, I think he's actually the first one who has been us for a full year, not only training, but staying and eating at the gym for the whole 365 days, which end like tomorrow in 1 or 2 days, kind of. So we're really at the end. So he came here with a specific and very, very refined goal. He wanted to lose weight and obviously get in better shape and build a better lifestyle. And he did just that. He came in at like 100, how much was it?
121.7 kilos.
121.7 kilos, and he reached as low as, what was the lowest?
The lowest one, 79. No, I'm 79. About 80, 81, because yesterday we got a very nice Christmas dinner, so it's good, it's very good.
Okay, so you set a very big goal, which was losing like 40 kilos from 120 to 80 kilos, roughly.
That's correct.
And you reached it, so you got to the goal. What kept you motivated throughout the journey?
There is something I learned about it on a website called Hack the Box. I was reading an article, and they were speaking about how important it is to setting the goals. And there is something when, for example, we are together in a room, and you are my instructor, and I have to make the instructions, and you say to me, okay, I want you to move around there. I start to move, I move in the room, and like sometime later, you put a chair on the middle, and even if I don't think about it, I'm gonna sit on it. But if you give me a different instruction, and you say to me, I want you to move from one corner to the other, there's no matter, you put this chair on the middle, I'm gonna walk through and I'm gonna do what I need to do. And the chair represents like the distraction. So if I set the right goals, I have a right way and I have a clean way to go in. But if I am moving around without any specific goal, it's super easy to not achieve it. I mean, every chair will be an opportunity to sit down, and I'm gonna sit down. So that's the importance of the goal setting.
So a specific goal, yeah?
Yes.
Great.
And you have to be very clear about it, and you have to also say how I'm gonna reach. This is the solution what I choose, because there is a lot of different solutions you can choose to get in better shape all around the world. But I like martial arts, I like Muay Thai, and I like Thailand. So specifically, I said I want to do this here for that time of period, and I went for it.
Great. So were there moments where you wanted to give up, and how did you overcome them?
I mean, if I commit myself for something for that long of a period, it's also from the financial perspective, from the time I'm not doing the things I'm supposed to do. But this is very important for me to be in shape, because every other battle or war coming to my life, I'm gonna be standing there now as a better man, because I'm in a better physical condition. So a big problem I already solved. So that was necessary to do. And I come with a mindset, and I tell for you too as well, when we was in Hong Kong, there's only one way I don't complete it if I die during the journey.
You did.
Because dying is the best
excuse.
I mean, there is no other acceptable excuse, you know. So And I kept it, so.
Good one.
Yeah, you never know what's coming, but if something is outside of you where you have generally no control of it, you don't pay that much attention, but it can stop you. But otherwise,
of course,
there is no acceptable
excuse. Yeah. That's a great mindset for fighters as well. What made you choose 7 Muay Thai Gym? And most importantly, you booked 1 year without knowing us, without ever coming to Thailand. Like, it was kind of like a leap of faith. But what made you faithful that it was going to go through well?
I start with the second part of the question, because this comes back to the things you have to know yourself. And I know how I am. And with booking the full year, pre-booking, I mean, it's not the smartest decision you can make in your life, but I know who I am and how I do the things. And I didn't want it to give me any kind of escape route, you know. I was like, I book it and I do it. So it's not like I book 6 months and then I feel, okay, I'm finished with my goal, even though if it's not the things I wanted to reach. And then I fly home. I was like, okay, 1 year, it's 1 year. There is no, as I said, only one option. If I die, I don't finish. But otherwise, there is no excuses. So this is the reason why I pre-booked everything in advice. And when it comes to choosing a gym, I contacted over 25 gyms. I mean, really everything I found online, and I made a big research about it. I was checking all the social media videos. Of course, when I send that much money to somewhere, I want to have more information. And I was checking out how these gyms are active on the social media, YouTube, Instagram, and I was also paying attention what kind of answer I got, because I described my goal, and one of the gyms just writing me, yes, we can do. Okay, I mean, it's good, you can do, but how can we then really set into reality? And the communication was very smooth. I mean, it was the smoothest, even though I was contacting the very big gyms in Thailand, so to say, and this communication was here the smoothest. And the activity on the social media, because I was following the site before I came even here. And also the fighters I got to follow because I wanted to see what they do. My superpower is the overthinking. Some people say it's a bad thing, but for me, it's very useful for now. Our conversation was like a small journey. So I started with everybody with the same letter I wrote. And then every other conversation got a different length. And ours was the longest because my interest was focused on this gym. And with the gyms, I got no interest after the first answer. That was cut, the discussion. And then with some gym, I also got for a deeper level. And then at the end of the day, our conversation was the longest. That's why I decided to come here. So if you think about from a perspective that as a tourist, you're gonna get a target for every scam around the world, no matter in which country you are, the more information you have, the deeper understanding you have from a situation, you can make a better decision. I mean, there is no guarantee to accomplish the things you want, because who guarantees you? Nobody. But you have to be able to collect that much of an information as you can, and after that kind of package, you make a decision.
To give yourself the best possibility.
Because there is always a best move. I mean, even though the situation looks very bad, you still have a best move. Best move to do. It doesn't guarantee you the success, but it's better to not move any generally, you know. I'm a Hungarian guy. I'm 30 years old, and the first 20 years of my life I spent in Hungary. And in the last 10 years, we moved to Austria, and I come from Austria to Thailand. So this is the place where I live, and this is the place also where I go into back.
How did you feel when you first arrived to Thailand, arrived at the gym, and what was the first challenges, the few first challenges that you had to go through?
I would say the arriving, it was very smooth, because there was people ready to welcome me, because everything was going like it organized. I got the bed at the first day. People was explaining how are the rules and what things to do and what not to do, which is very useful if you are in a foreign country. And the first month is like a blackout for me from the training perspective, because you see the videos and you see me in live how I arrived, and this was like I started the training at the first day, afternoon. Then I went to sleep. I wake up, I train, eat, sleep, train, because I was so exhausted from the training. I mean, the heat, the amount of training, because it's 6 hours a day if you are not a fighter. If you're a fighter, of course, the people training 7-8 hours, it's crazy. But that amount of training, it was just like a big shock for my body, and I didn't even got any other energy to move around or check out things. But I mean, this is what I came for. So even if it was uncomfortable at the beginning, I had to be comfortable with the uncomfortable situation to accomplish the goal. I mean, you can expect, okay, with the months it's getting easier, but until like 6-7 months, it was the same. The pain in the leg doesn't going away, and any other kind of injuries you have to move with because you don't want to skip, because you are in an ongoing
process.
Process is better word.
Yeah. So you got the bed, like you said. So for who doesn't know, you stayed the whole year in the shared room, in what we call the boxer room, which is a room shared with another like at least 7 or 8 people. And you have fighters, you have trainers, you have other guests, like.
I meet a lot of people.
Yeah, I meet a lot of people. But living 1 year in a shared, like in a kind of like a hostel setup, it's it's challenging, isn't it?
It could be challenging sometimes, but I would say, generally, the characteristic of the people who are training in a gym is usually very respectful, and people pay attention to each other, and everybody has the same goal or what kind of different, because some people are making it for career, some people are making it for hobby, tourism. Yeah. But just as a general rule, if you pay attention, then you don't really have any kind of problem with it.
Well, in this aspect, since you have only one experience in Muay Thai, which is this camp, I can guarantee you it's not like that everywhere. Let's say who comes to Rayong, specifically to this gym, because of the location it's in, like it's very rural area and there's nothing much to do. Yes, you have people with the same goal, but I can guarantee you in many other places there's people with they think they have the same goal, but then it ends up like, it could be a mess with people that like think they have the same goal, but then they actually end up doing completely the opposite. And I've seen a lot of
one answer to this is like, this was also one of the reasons why I chose the area, because I wanted to 100% focus on my goal. I know myself, I get, like everybody else, I get also easily distracted, because it's a human behavior.
Obviously,
and if I'm at a place where everything built around that kind of path, I mean, it's not easier, because it's simpler, but you also have to go and do the work by yourself. But it's more simpler because you don't get distracted. If you don't set goals, I mean, even though in a place like Rayong, where the tourism is a little bit less compared to the other part of Thailand, you can also get distracted, of course. I mean, I see it in live, I know how it's work, and everybody knows it.
You still need some kind of discipline. It's not, I mean, if you want to get distracted, you can distract.
And also from the other side, if you are that focused, you can do it no matter in which part of the world. But as I said, Thailand got also a very good image in my head, so I wanted to combine these two things. And it was a very good decision at the end of the day.
Can you talk a little bit about your life before starting this process? So your life back at home?
Yeah, I mean, Muay Thai was a great tool to correct the mistakes I made in the last 10 years, because the priorities I set in aspect of the physical condition or appearance, it was way lower than I invest my energy to the other stuff. I did work, going out with friends, this kind of stuff, eating very bad. I mean, this was also something I learned a lot about, how to manage and what to eat, and about the portion, because this plays a big role. After that much of a time eating here the clean food, I mean clean food, no salt, no sugar inside, and it was big part of the weight loss also. So I learned about this, which I didn't know before, because until my 20s, I was also doing sports. I was playing football, handball, I was riding motocross. This was one of the best time of my life. I was in good condition. And then the things are changed. because of my personal mistake. I mean, I'm not here to blame anybody for it because it's my mistake. But if you see how much time you need to correct that long of a mistake, I mean, 1 year can go by very quick if you don't do the things you are supposed to do.
Yeah.
But from the other side, if you do, it's still like a big investment from the time perspective, because 1 year is a lot of time.
Of course.
But living in Thailand is completely different from the perspective of the time, because you are here in a time capsule. The time, it's not real. So I would say the lifestyle I was doing it was the worst possible from the physical perspective, because overeating,
of course,
not doing any sport. I always tried something for 2-3 months. That was also the reason I chose the 1 year period, because I see myself fail a lot of time in the shorter time frames. So yeah, this is how it comes.
Yeah. So you already answered this one, but can you give a bit more insights on, like, you came here to lose weight, and you not only did that, but you discovered a new, like you said, a new lifestyle, a new way of life, a new way of doing things. Like, except the eating part, what else did you discover? What else did you learn, lifestyle-wise, that will help you, you know, in the future that you didn't know before, other than the food?
I would say one of the most valuable aspects of my stay is to see the world from this perspective, because if you come from Europe, the lifestyle, the culture, everything you know is completely different what you experience in Asia, in general in Thailand, because I was only in Hong Kong outside of Thailand for 1 week of period, but from China and these other areas I have no experience. But to see how the people live there, and this is also very nicely working environment, it was very valuable to open a new part of the worldview I got before. So I would say I'm very happy for the weight loss, but if I had to say which one was the most valuable, it's like head to head.
Yeah.
It was a very good time to experience the world from this view.
This perspective, yeah.
And I never see oceans like this. I never lived between Asian people, Thai people there. Everybody is very friendly. It's like a super nice country. So yeah, I would say this one was very valuable.
Okay, and let's go to something more deep. What was the most difficult part of the whole weight loss journey? I know you had a lot, but what was the hardest one?
I would say, if you are in an ongoing journey, as we see in the video what you made, it was a very good idea to compare week by week the form of the body.
Yeah.
And if we see the first part, if you live in the moment, like 3 months gone by, you feel yourself better because you're already training, you lose some weight, but it doesn't really look like what you're expecting. And you realize, okay, this is going not that fast as you want or wish. And during this time, you get sometimes out of the focus, and outside there is a lot of snack to eat or try other foods. And riding around, you know, and like this, everything what you, so to say, enjoy outside of the training, it holds you back from the goal you want to achieve. So this one is, but this one is not just for this year. I had to realize this is something ongoing until end of my life. So it doesn't gonna change in a positive way if I'm gonna start snacking again and eating over.
All the good stuff is bad for you.
Yeah, so to say. And sad or not sad, it is what it is. So I have to accept the fact. So this one, for example, and also after some hard training, when you come down and it's like 4 months fly by, 5 months fly by, and you're still not at the point you want to be, but you have to keep in the mind, okay, this is what I want. Sometimes you get tired of going on the process, but this is where I think the discipline comes into the picture when you're changing the motivation, because the motivation is lasting like 2 to 3 months, and then comes your willpower, and from your willpower you can estimate how much your endurance is, because the whole year as a package was a good test to my willpower also. Then I see, okay, I could do this, and I was committing myself. So in the future, I also gonna respect the hard work I put in, invested to my body in that year. So I would say like this.
The one thing that I want to ask, like personally, is the life here in this gym, especially in Muay Thai gyms in general, but in this gym is very like, it's the same. Like we don't change. The training is basically always the same. The food is always the same. Like everything is the same. It's constant. It's not like, oh, sometimes we go train at the beach, or sometimes we do this activity or that activity, which you see in other realities. You think this was a positive point or a negative point? Like the fact that, okay, it's so, you don't have to think about it. It's always the same. But then obviously, like you said, after one time you get tired, you want to change like this. But was it like, was it good having this, like not having to think about anything, just follow? Or was it like a pain in the ass, like, oh, I wish we could do something different. I wish we could change a bit, like, and then you have to think, and maybe you get distracted.
I would say from the technical perspective, from the day-to-day basis, it's a good thing, because I don't need to keep in mind, okay, no, the training is there. No, I know. I wake up from my bed, I go up to the gym, and I do. So it's not like, oh, I have to drive there, I have to go there, I have to do this and this. No. It's very simple, not easy, but very simple. Yeah. And from the other perspective, for your mind, is good to have some changes. But that's why, for example, the way I did, every 3 to 4 months, I spend a weekend in Bangkok, or when the opportunity was there to go Hong Kong to watch a fight from the gym, then I took it. So yeah, for me, this 3 to 4 months period, I had to do this small kind of reset, you know?
Yeah.
And then releasing and go again.
You remember when you first came and we had a big talk and you said like, I'm gonna go all in, I'm not gonna get distracted, I'm gonna stay here, I'm not gonna leave, like watch me do this, I'm gonna be like straight up. And I said, look, I respect your you know, I respect it, but trust me, after a few months, if you don't, I will send you away to have a weekend away, like, because you need that. Like, it's like for fighters, you know, when we prepare for the fight, like for 1, 2, maybe 3 months sometimes, and then at the end of the fight, when it's, you know, you have to get that rest, otherwise you can never start again. And for you, you don't get that fight because you have your goal is different. Your goal is not to fight, is to lose weight, so you never get that break, you know. So in 1 year, no break is impossible. Like, you need to.
I have to agree with this.
But then in the end, you started doing it, and I was like, yeah, you see, this is good for you. But the first time, you were like, I'm gonna go all in. Like, I'm never gonna stop. Like you did.
Yeah, the start was like because I always like to keep things real. For example, at the moment I arrived, and when someone was calling me fat, I was like, I don't get offended for this. I know how I am, and I keep in mind how I am. So that's why I had to have that kind of ambition, because
of course,
if I start these kind of breaks earlier, I get addicted to as well, you know, and I gonna make like not every 3 to 4 months, but I gonna make monthly, and then it makes the time frame difficult to keep, because then, okay, it's more break. That means the time I planned to achieve the goal, it will be way more close. So
I think it's a great mindset. It's like aim for perfection, and then whatever comes is good, because obviously you never get perfection in life, but as long as you aim for it, then you will get something good out of it.
I believe that the best thing is to keep the win rate in mind, because nobody has 100% win rate. But until it's over 50%, you're doing good.
Yeah, I agree.
I have little to no experience when it comes to Muay Thai. I was training with some of my friends, kickboxing in Europe, because they was doing it professionally, and I joined them for a short period of time. Of course, if you going on the social media, you see a lot of different things from all around the world, how people train, and something is very unique in Thailand, what you don't really see in Europe, when someone is there and is only there for you to hold the pads. This kind of training is absolutely the GOAT tier exercise, when you go in with the trainer and you have like 3 rounds, 4 rounds of hitting the pads. This is amazing. I don't know how is it in other part of the world, but at the home of the Muay Thai, you say everywhere is the same. But this is a very, very good point to interact with Muay Thai. Of course, if you have bags, I can hang a bag in my place where I live and I can hit it. But when someone is there, correct you, watching for your mistakes, and help you to improve the technique, this is a big value. And absolutely worth it to visit Thailand for that specifically. Even if I'm not a fighter, but I can see the people who fighting in Europe and coming out to make a preparation or training camp before a fight.
Yeah.
I mean, they also agree with the fact that this kind of training from this perspective is like top.
And was it a lot different than you expected? Like, for sure, you made a picture in your mind before coming. Like, was it like that, or was it different? And how was it different?
It was way harder. I mean, in the mind, it's same when you have to give an interview like this. This is the second time, so I'm very uncomfortable and beginner in that area. But it's the same. You watch videos and you have some kind of thinking about it, and you see yourself doing the things. And when you're actually doing, you find out, wow, okay, my condition is way less than I expected, and my dynamic, my movement is like a big package of trash.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's way harder than you expect.
Yeah.
And also the temperature, what you have here, the weather. I mean, you need at least 1-2 weeks from my option.
Yeah.
If you come out like you are untrained and not in shape, then at least 2 weeks to get used to the weather, because it's pretty hot. So this one I would say is harder than you expect.
Harder than you expect, yeah. So we talked about the training, we talked about the food, but how did your mindset improve? Like, what do you feel different about yourself, like mindset-wise? Like,
I have more self-control, I would say. This is I changed my identity when it comes to what I eat and how much I train. So I have way more self-control when it comes to eating something, from the perspective that just when I go for a snack and I eat 2-3 different things, I still go for snacks sometimes, but I eat only one thing or drink one thing. So from that perspective, I would say I improved myself. And also when it comes to the training, even though I do less sometimes, I do more sometimes, or I just don't want to train, I just go and do every day. So this is what come after like 8-9 months, and that's why I'm very happy, because I choose the 1 year, because now I am not thinking about to train. I just do, and even if the performance sometimes less, but I'm still showing up and doing, and this is what I wanted, because 1 year is enough to change your life, but also 1 year is enough to destroy it. So in the future, I also wanna keep this up.
Keep it up, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what you said is very important. Like, some people might say, like, okay, training every day, twice a day, it's too much, or whatever, even for fighters. But like you said, people think that, like, people that never trained at a high level, they think, okay, every time you go into the gym, you're gonna be your 100% self, which is complete bullshit. Like, us fighters, we know, and now you know, that every day you go in, you feel different. Some days you feel 20%, some days you feel 50%, some days you feel like a dragon and you want to kill. But the important is to keep going, and if you never like do it every day, you're never gonna get that 100% day, you know. And that's like exactly what you said and what you learned.
About this, I also know before, because from my professional poker career, sorry to bring it up again, but we was interacting with the mental game aspect, and you have 3 different levels, if you can categorize like this: your A game, your B game, your C game. You have your absolute best performance, but the goal is to improve your absolute worst performance, and then the better it will be always better.
That's a great one, yeah.
And so this is something valuable or useful to keep in mind in the days when you are not feeling your best performance, but it doesn't matter, because even in the moment you can't give you 100%, your worst version gonna improve.
Yeah.
So this is something to keep in mind.
Yeah, and you can be proud of yourself when you still did it when you didn't want to,
yeah,
or
you don't
felt like
feel
shit.
yourself like a piece of shit at the end of the day.
You get like, you're proud of yourself and you feel good after training.
Yeah.
I think much better, like, mentally. So you talked a little bit about Thailand in general, but how was the fact that you were doing this in Thailand affected your everything, your fitness, your training, your heat, your food? Like, could this have been done anywhere else in the world and would have been different? And what do you think?
I mean, because of just to put in perspective, I like other martial arts too. Like, if you watch a MMA fight, it's very interesting. But if you are in Thailand, with the people around you and with the culture and the attitude for Muay Thai, this is unbeatable. If I go to Bangkok and I watch a RVS event, nothing comes too close if I am at that place. I mean, I wouldn't see any other kind of sport instead of this because you are in the jungle, the environment, the people, the buildings, everything is built around this so nicely. So it's a good vision to experience.
Yeah.
So nothing beats Muay Thai in Thailand.
Yeah.
So, and from this, if I say nothing beats Muay Thai in Thailand, that means there is nowhere other place in the world where you can experience Muay Thai like this.
Yeah.
So, might sound confusing because my English is super broken, but
No, it's very good. No problem. We understand very good. I think your English also improved a lot since you're here, no? What you
yeah, I used a lot because before them, most of the time when I was watching videos in English, in the head is going good, ongoing stuff. But when I have to speak out, it's completely different.
Yeah.
And here I speak a lot on English, so it's improved also.
Okay, so what did you learn about yourself during your time here? Something that you didn't know that you could do or that you were capable of achieving? If there's anything.
The amount of training, because I never trained that much. And even at the beginning, I was doing a shorter training program, like 2 hour afternoon or 2.5 instead of 3, 4. It was achievable, and I never visualized I'm gonna be able to train that much on a day by day. Because if you count it together, it's like 6 times 6 hours, 36 hours. It's almost a full working week from the training perspective. So it was a new limit for me to reach. And yeah, this is something new. Because until you don't have it, you don't know you can have it or not, or you can achieve.
Okay, can you share one moment during the time you were here that made you feel like, okay, I can do it, I'm doing it, like you felt proud of something that you remember, if you remember?
I mean, there is a lot of things because when you train every day and the training ongoing and you want to stop. And
we can say a couple of two, three moments that you felt like, oh yeah, I'm good, like I'm doing it, I feel good about myself like this.
I think when I reached 100 kilo, it was the halfway. It was a milestone where I say, okay, I mean, I'm at the 50% of my goal. This should be okay. I just have to keep going. This was one of the moments I was like, okay, there is no way to turn back. And I would say the moment now, because I reached my goal, but I have now a physical condition what I didn't have for a long time. And this is not the point I want to stop. So now I have new goals about my physical condition to improve. And I'm gonna hit the gym. I have a plan. In the last 3 months, I was working on learning about nutrition stuff, and I was built for myself a new training plan what I'm gonna follow in the next year, in the first 3 months, and then change by 3 months on the 3 monthly basis. And I also write myself together a meal plan, what I can eat and what I should do, comparing to the time when I'm working, the time when I'm free. So I built for me something which I can follow, because when I arrived here, the system you provide, it was also something like I can follow. I can calm down, even if I don't like the food at the beginning. I was very against it,
you still have to eat it because that's what's there.
And I was like, I don't go outside to change the food because this is the food I need to eat to reach my goal. So there was no decision-making progress. I just do it, and if you have a system, you can lay behind, and it comes also to the other stuff what the camp provide, that we have very clean rooms, like you have cleaning every day and week, and this is a very good stuff because I don't have experience with other gyms, but I was speaking with guys who was in other gym, and they was surprised how clean is here to compare to the others, and it was also for me very important. I mean, I don't want to get any kind of infection during my stay. So this was very, very helpful. But it's like a little bit now I'm out of the question, but
it's okay.
But this is a moment. The halfway and the end.
Okay.
where I say, okay, now I have the knowledge to build something and follow, and then the halfway is like, okay, there is no back anymore because the time is gone by, I reach what I wanted, the next period comes, and I take what I need. So these two moments, I would say.
Good. So the halfway and then now, because for you it's not an end, but it's a start of something new.
Yeah, it's like one end point, one milestone of the cycle.
Yeah, yeah. You talked about the other guys, etc. How did the people in the camp help you along the journey?
I would say everybody is here very welcoming. It's like, because of the size of the community, it's more like a team or a family, you can say. Because when you stay with the same people for a longer time, and you have then better connection with them, because you do things outside of the camp together, and also you train together, you speak about things. I also asked some guys there who is actively fighting, because I'm interested in that kind of lifestyle just from the information, and everybody is very welcoming. I mean, this helps a lot, because if you are in an environment where everybody against you, you still have the chance to make it, but it's way harder. So this gives a big value that the community here is a good, strong community.
Mm-hmm. How specifically? I know that everybody helped you, but how?
I would say, for example, Oi is a big part of the stay, because every time I needed something, she was washing out my bandages and making sure that the bed is always clean, everything is organized. So this is very, very good point of view. With the trainers, also you meet on the training, but also outside of the training, and everybody is like, they are happy all the time, and it makes you also happy. So you get the atmosphere and you go with it. And when I got something to get done, and I wanted to involve other people, like I wanted to ask something from you, and you was always there, and you was helping, give instructions. Also Kukai, when someone needed, okay, this is the situation, I need a solution, and you are doing it for me, because that's the job of a service provider, but it doesn't mean everybody does it good. So I am very, very satisfied with the service you and the whole team provided, because I couldn't wish for better. So from that perspective, you really need just to do what you're here for. You have no other stuff to pay attention or think about. So this is very positive, because the energy is limited what we have. So
of course, and the time.
And the time also. Time makes everything competitive.
And what about your fellow like the other guys in the gym, the other girls, maybe the fighters? How did they help you?
During the sparring session, for example, when it comes to spar with fighters or other guys, everybody has a great attitude. Everybody know, okay, you are on that level, and they are adjusting for you. That means it's less injury, which I'm very happy for it, because if you have any kind of injury, it slows the process down. But when the people pay attention, okay, for example, Luca, he's experienced fighter. When I spar with him, he know how to spar with me, to not defeat but not kill me on the session. And these kind of things is very good. I would say I appreciate it. And also from the other guys. And even if you train with other people who are not fighters, you have the same kind of respect to each other. You're not gonna, don't wanna damage the other, or how you say, injure the other.
Yeah, damage.
But this kind of environment, because if you see videos, there is a lot of gym around the world where people spar like they fight, and they don't even get paid for it. So this is a bad mental attitude. So
yeah. Obviously, you developed some kind of love for Thailand, as I know, as I can see. What are your favorite things of, in general, the culture, anything about this country that you like?
Bangkok.
Okay, what about Bangkok?
The best thing is about Bangkok, I used to go there like on the 3 to 4 monthly basis for 3 to 5 days, depends. And you see a lot of people from all around the world. I mean, you go out and you have actually really people from every part of the world, and you see how different people with different background, different culture react to some kind of things. This I like a lot. I mean, this is a very mind-opening stuff because you don't gonna view everything from your perspective, but you have a more understanding to the people who has different backgrounds, so to say, yeah. So that's the best thing about Bangkok, and of course, like in every capital, you can do everything you want. But this is not unique to Bangkok. But what is unique, as I said, like a metropolitan city, you really meet people from Norwegian, from France, from USA, from Japan, from really everywhere. So it's a good meeting point.
Yeah, I like Bangkok too. It's very open-minded. What about something about the culture, like something you learn about the Thai culture, the Thai way of doing things, or food, or whatever, like something about Thailand itself that you like, and then you...
I like the way Thai people celebrate. For example, the Songkran is a very good festival, or time of very good period of the year, and if it comes to the mindset when you speak about chill guys or really relaxed people, you can find here. I mean, it's a very, very, like they say, sabai sabai, and you meet this kind of attitude every day all around Thailand.
Yeah.
So this is good.
I know it was like the training was harder than you expected, etc. But what was something that actually surprised you, in a good or in a bad way, out of everything? Like something that you were like, whoa, I never thought this would happen, or never thought this would be this way, you know, if there's something that did.
When I got a big knee during clinch, I didn't know this is that painful. It was like, the pain was with me like for 3 weeks.
And we wear knee pads as well. Imagine without it.
So sometimes it's easy to underestimate if you're sitting on the couch and you're watching a fight and you know better what they should do, which is actually not true. but when you get a knee, like a sharp knee to your ribs, the reality you have is changing. So this is super painful.
Cool. Nice. If you would have to offer one advice to someone coming here to 7 Muay Thai Gym, what would you say?
Book your flight and come.
Okay.
There is nothing you're not gonna value about it. I mean, if you are in the attitude you wanna improve yourself physically, mentally, or you just wanna see a nice place with nice people, go for it.
Okay, so one last question. I normally ask for one thing, but since you've been here for so long, please give me at least 3 things that you would want us to improve. That, say, in the future, like you come back, or you send a friend or whatever, you want to see this thing better, improved, or added, implemented, like something that is not here at all, like.
The first thing I would say is already done, because I was wishing for a place where you can sit in with your computer and without the attack of the mosquitoes, you can do stuff. And during the year, I mean, there was a lot of changes in a positive way. And you made this new relax area.
Where we are now. We are in a small corner.
Yeah, and it's pretty good. So this was something, but this also, when Kukai asked me during the year, I was also telling this and also to you, because if you are in silence, nobody knows what you want. So you have to speak. I would say the wooden chairs I don't like. Okay. I go crazy with it, but it's also something, I don't sit outside long during the meals because I can't sit on it. I mean, I go crazy.
It's moving, yeah?
Yeah, and also like, it's an older one, it's like authentic style. Yeah. Because I learned about this, if something is authentic, it means usually it's an older stuff. Yeah. So the chairs is not in my favor. And
just to give some context, you actually bought your own working chair for the relax area.
Yeah, for the desk you provided, I was like, okay, if I want to spend more than 30 minutes on the chair, I need a solution. Yeah. And yeah, I ordered my own chair. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, third things. I mean, it depends what you're looking for, because.
No, for you.
And that's what I want to say. For me, actually, is like.
Okay, what about other people? Since you've been here and you've basically seen so many people coming and going, and I'm sure people tell things to you that they don't tell to me.
Air condition could be something.
Air conditioning in the share room.
In the shared room, for example. I didn't got any problem with it because we got a fan extra outside of the 2 big fans.
On the wall, yeah.
So I was okay with it. So anyway, it's not getting less warm because you don't spend all the time in the room. Yeah. You come out, you are outside, you're gonna get sweat. It's Thailand. It is what it is. I mean, you don't wanna even lose energy on things you can change. You can decide how you react for this kind of stuff, and you accept it and you go for it. But maybe this one could be something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else you have in mind?
I see some gym where they play music during the training, but I'm not a big fan of it.
Yeah, that's never gonna happen.
Yeah, better like
as long as I'm here.
I used, when I was running in the, when I started to run and I was running on the daily basis, I used to listen music, but nowadays I go without. It's better.
Yeah.
It's way better. It gives you a different attitude because you are not getting ups and downs from the mental level. You just go and you do.
I don't know from the scientific point of view, but I've heard that music during running especially, it's bad for you because it changes your heart rhythm. Like
it's because sometimes, for example, you're listening to music and the music, of course, has ups and downs, and you are not that consistent because you're gonna run a little bit faster, then of course you gas out, you run a little bit slower, then up. I mean, sprinting is very good. This is, I never think I'm gonna say this, but I love running with sprinting, but it's like in a more controlled way. Okay, there is like 1 kilometer, I run with 5 minutes per kilometer, and then I sprint the last 300 meters with 3 minutes per kilometer, and it has a system. And the body gets used to it, like a HIIT training.
You are controlling it.
Yes. But otherwise, if you go with the music, you're losing the focus on it.
Yeah.
So.
And also, I think it's never good to have something pushing you from the outside. Like, it can be good sometimes if really you're in a bad day, like you feel sad, or maybe you have zero energy, or your
feeling doesn't last that long.
Yeah, sometimes it can happen, but as a regular thing, I'm really against music during training. Like, even. So personally, sometimes I use it when I do weight training. Very not often, but in general, I think you have to listen to your body.
I was like this before too. Like, okay, it makes me easier, but actually, it just gives you a fake image about the ongoing stuff. So I like way better the training nowadays without any kind of music, and I just listen to my breath. And
cool. I have something for you. Because I see your T-shirt that you're wearing now is very, very big. Because for who doesn't know, this T-shirt, he got it when he first came and he was 121 kilos. And who watched the reel on Instagram can see how it fits. So, and he also got this one, which is a team, but he doesn't wear it anymore because it's too big. So now you are officially part of the family, and this is for you.
Grazie mille. Thank you very much.
After, if the size is not good, we change. I think it's okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so I think we're done, and thank you for everything this year.
And also, thank you for being a good service provider. I mean, at the end of the day, the job I done, it's mine, but it plays a big role with which people you do this. And I find a good partner in you and the whole team, so thank you very much.
It was great having you, and thank you for choosing us, and hope to see you in the future again.
Definitely.
Okay? Take care.